Today I want to talk about cell phone chargers. Every house in America has about 20 of these things. There's a couple of different options that are better. Instead of one of these things that plugs into your wall, you can get one of these. It plugs into a 2-port outlet. It's got a couple of USB ports. It's got a couple of 15 amp outlets on it. This is the one I prefer. This is also a device which you actually pull your outlet out of your wall and replace it with this. It's got 2 USB ports that together give you 3.6 amps. It's also got a couple of 20 amp outlets on it. And today I'm going to show you how to put this in. I'm doing this video because a friend of mine came to the house the other day and he saw one of these in my garage and he said, "Hey, where'd you get that?" And he didn't know you could get such a thing. So I bought this at Harbor Freight. I think it was about $12. It's very handy. I've got a couple of them in my house and I'm going to put another one in tonight. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's real simple. So let's get started. Okay, we're here at my breaker box because I want to show you something. This device is rated at 20 amps. So you want to put this device in a plug in your house that's connected to one of your breakers that's also 20 amps. If you notice, I'm going to bring you up a little bit closer. Some of these have a 15 and some have a 20. Some even have a larger number like a 40. That means this is a 15 amp breaker. That's a 20 amp breaker. So if you're going to put a device in your house that's rated for 20 amps, you need to put it on a 20 amp circuit. Now this 20 amp outlet is going to go in my kitchen. This breaker right here goes to my kitchen, my island counter in my kitchen where I'm going to install this. So this is 20 amps. If I put this on a 15 amp circuit and I try and pull 20 amps out of this, it's going to actually flip that breaker, which is going to kill everything on the circuit. That means everything that's connected to that outlet and anything else that's connected to the breaker, is going to turn off. So you just want to make sure if you're going to do this, that you size this up to an outlet that can handle the current and that matches what's on your breaker. Now, if you're not completely comfortable, 100% comfortable, find someone who knows what they're doing, let them help you with it. Don't try it yourself and create an unsafe condition in your house. Alright, so this is the outlet I'm going to replace. And as you can tell, I've taken my USB outlet out of the package. So this outlet's going to go in just like that. I've got to remove this one first. So as you can see, if I plug up the hairdryer and turn it on, the hairdryer works. That means this outlet has power. So now let's go turn off power to the outlet and we're going to try it with the hairdryer one more time. Okay, this is the switch right here that I need to throw. This is my 20 amp breaker from my kitchen island. So we're going to turn it off and then go check the power outlet again with the hairdryer. Okay, so now that I got the breaker off, let's check this again. Hairdryer's plugged in, turned on and off, nothing, no power. Let's check the second one. Now always push your button. If your hairdryer's like this one and it's got a breaker on it, push your red button to reset it. On, off, nothing. All right. So now, because I'm paranoid, I want to check this one more time with my multimeter. So we're going to put the probes in here. Multimeter is set to AC and nothing. Let's check the second one. No power at all. So I think it's safe to work on. Now, to replace this, you're going to need a wire stripper. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. So here's my plug. I'm ready to put it in. And when I put it in, notice the ground holes are on the left end, just like they are here. So that's the orientation I want to use to put it in. All right, so let's pull this out. Now, if your outlet covers have been on for a few years like mine, they may be stuck. Well, this one came off pretty easy. Sometimes they'll stick to your paint or your sheetrock, so just be careful and don't tear up your sheetrock when you pull it off. Sometimes it's good to take a knife or a razor blade and go around the outline because the paint can overlap your outlet cover, it can stick to it, and you don't want to rip all your paint off when you pull it off. So just be careful about that. So we'll set that right there. Take our Phillips head screwdriver, unscrew it. Okay, so I've got this unscrewed. Let's pull it out. Now, notice there's a black wire, a white wire, and a copper wire. The bare copper wire is always ground. The white wire is neutral, and the black wire is power in America. In some other countries it may be different. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and trim this. I'm going to cut these leads because I don't want to reuse this this little piece of curved wire underneath that screw. I don't want to reuse that, so what I'm going to do is actually cut it off. So let's do it like this. Cut that one. Cut that one. There we go. So now that outlet is free. Alright, so I've got my other outlet I'm going to put in here. Now on the back of this outlet, we've got one side where it says put your hot wire right there. This other side it says put your white wire. Okay, so black is hot, white is the white wire or the neutral line, and there's always a green screw on these. The green screw is where the bare copper conductor goes, and that's your ground. So first thing I'm going to do is hook up my ground, and again my outlet's going to go in like this, where the two grounding lugs are on the left hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and put a bend in this so that I can hook it underneath that green screw. And let's do it just like this. There we go. All right. Let's strip some wire. This is a 16 gauge wire, so I'm going to use the hole on here that has the 16 on it. All right. So black goes on that side. Now, you can take the black wire, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some holes in the bottom. You can actually push this wire straight into the hole, and then you, see if I can get you around when you see better. There we go. Once you do that, you tighten that screw down, just like that, and it will lock that wire in place. See, that wire's not coming out. Now, actually, let's go under there. There we go. So the white wire goes in. There's also a hole on this side, just like on the other side. Let's put that right through there. So put it in just like that. And then we're going to tighten up this screw. And you know the tightening rule, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So turn it to the right to tighten it and make sure it's nice and snug, because you don't want these wires popping out. So now let's test the wires, give them the pull test. Everything seems to be good. I'm going to give my grounding screw another little tightening. There we go. And we're going to put this back in. Those wires are going to bend when you push it in, but that's okay. They're made to be bent over and over again, and we're not going to be putting this thing in and out, so it's okay. Now, let's take the cover off this. All right, cover's off. So now you notice there's a screw hole right there, one right there. It should line up to these two screws, because these two screws, the spacing is just about universal on these. Right, so make sure this lines up okay, which it does. And let's put it in and tighten it down with a Phillips head screwdriver. All right, so that's in. Now we can put the outlet cover back on. See, it lines up just perfect. All right. So let's put these screws in. All right, don't over tighten your screws because this bezel piece is plastic and you will tear it up. So now that that's in, let's test it and see if it works. Okay, so let's come in here and we're going to turn our breaker back on. So that's on. All right, so my breaker's back on, so let's plug the hairdryer up again. It's plugged in and turn it on. There you go, the hairdryer works. Let's try this other one. Now let's get the power cord and try the USB ports and make sure that the phone charges. Okay, let's check it with my telephone now. I've got my USB charging cable on my telephone, so I'm going to plug it in right here. And the battery indicator is on the top right corner of my phone. You can see the battery indicator came on. So now I'm going to unplug it, and it went off. I'm going to plug it back in again to the other one, and the indicator came back on. So I know my USB ports are working. So looks like we're in good shape. I want to stress to you, if you've never done anything like this before, be really careful. And sometimes electricians, when they wire up outlets, they pull a lot of spare wire and they keep it bundled up inside the outlet, and it'll look like spaghetti in there. There'll be so much wire. Trim off any unused wire that you don't need. Don't pull so much wire out and push it back in multiple times, because you can make the wire brittle and it'll break. So just be careful, and if you haven't done this before or you're not comfortable with it, call someone for help. Make sure you do it right. Don't put your house into an unsafe condition because you get into a rush trying to put this in. Anyhow, thanks for watching and good luck.